See, it's funny you mentioned about like sometimes they try to guide you in a certain way or they edit shit out because there was that viral clip that came out last year from Josh and Troy, two reactors. A couple of things that they said that I wrote down.
Mm-hmm.
Josh said, "Fuck the Fine Bros." They couldn't speak their minds. They were on your dick in balls. And if if they did speak their mind, there was a good chance they weren't in the video. So when you saw that, like, was it like passed around through creators? You just saw it on your own. What was your way of seeing it?
Well, it's interesting that you say that because so with Josh, I would say Josh's situation was a little unique. To my knowledge, he actually made one of the producers cry, and that's why he didn't get brought back.
Right. Yeah, he made like a gun.
Yes, there, and that actually was later. So first there was on one of the episodes, I don't remember what it was, but he made one of the producers behind the camera cry while they were filming one of the episodes, and not in like a sad, like, oh, he said something so emotional, like he was being a dick and made them cry. And then later made a joking gun threat to VidCon, and then he got banned from VidCon. And I'm like, you don't, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I just thought that was an interesting decision. Now, and that's probably why Josh had the aggressive tone towards the Fine Brothers, is just because he was being himself. They didn't appreciate it, so they didn't bring him back and kicked him off. But I will agree with the fact that they did edit a lot of the stuff we said. I won't say they didn't allow us to say what we wanted, because that is not true. You could speak as freely as you wanted. I always said what was on my mind. Always. Now, a lot of that stuff get cut. Absolutely. A lot of that stuff got cut out. There were sometimes I'd even throw in jokes in there that I knew were a little outlandish just to see if I could make them land in the episode. More often than not, they didn't. So, excuse me. More often than not, they didn't. But there were still times where I would try to get a joke that was a little more out there to see if I get, like, there was one episode we were watching to where I said, what the fuck is this? Am I having a fucking stroke right now? What is this? I solely said that to see if I could get a reaction out of the producer to see if I can make it into the episode. I got a reaction out of the producer, and he was fucking uncomfortable.
and you weren't in the episode?
Perfect, but it did not make the episode. Did not make the episode.
Fucking stroke.
So, there was plenty of things where they got cut out, and they didn't let them make the episode for one reason or another. But they, at least for me, they never stopped me from saying what I wanted to say. Now, they would, after I said what I wanted to say, they would ask a kind of guiding question to try to put you in a direction with an answer, but I would always stand firmly on my ground and go, no, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
No, like, why? No, it's like, oh, but what about this? I'm like, I just gave you my opinion on this. It's that. So, and the producers actually had to learn that with me, they couldn't do guided questions because I would stand so firmly on my opinion on what I just said. And I knew this because whenever they would come in with a new producer, more often than not, producer said, "Oh yeah, they talked to me about you," and I was like, "Oh yeah, what they say?"
Yeah,
because I stand so firmly on my opinion. I'm not gonna go with some guided thing. I'm not gonna be like, "Oh yeah, hey, can you say this for this reason?" I'm like, no, I'm gonna say what my opinion is. Now, my opinion would generally be in line with what they wanted. It would just come off so bluntly, it made it seem more aggressive than it actually was. But that's just also how I kind of speak. I'm just very off the riff, not going to sugarcoat anything, say what's on my mind. And that's either going to piss you off or you're going to appreciate it. It's
right. And that's what Troy said in the video was that like they guided you to an answer. Clearly not everybody
Not everybody did.
let that happen. And did you ever find yourself like in videos, like, and you weren't even like trying to be like blunt or try to be funny to get a reaction to see if you wouldn't be in it? Were there times you were just being you and you're like, that's weird. I think I should have been in this episode, or I think
absolutely.
I should. Yeah. So like, and like, do you ever complain about that or no?
Nah, I knew because I never complained because I knew the situation I was in. Because it's coming from my entertainment background, I was already so aware of reality TV and how it's filmed, how it's used. They're going to cut it and guide it to whatever direction they want to get whatever kind of reaction they want from their audience. So I never complained because I knew the system. I understood how because that's all React was. It was reality TV. It was reality TV with reaction-based content. The reality is the reactions and opinions of the folks you're watching based on their opinions of the content that they're being shown. So in my head, I always looked at it as a reality TV show. So I was never upset when they cut anything because I knew That's how it functioned. In reality TV, they always try to guide it to make one person look like the villain. Even if what they did wasn't that bad, reality TV will edit it or shoot it to make it look like it's much worse than it actually is, to create that animosity and that tension for the TV show, because that keeps with the audience attached. And that's 100% what went on with React. They're guiding audience opinion based on how they edit and put in certain reactors and their opinions. And they may not even line up the opinion with that question. They may cut it so it's a different question that it sounds like they're answering versus what they actually said in regards to that topic.